Jeff, as a design thinking leader, can you tell us how it applies to the digitization of documents?
And it's a great question, Rado. What this comes down to for me is really primarily two factors. And one is that by starting to digitize static documents, you're now increasing the user experience. So you're getting a more enhanced user experience now. And then off of the back of that, because you're getting this more enhanced user experience, you're also now getting stronger engagement from your users. So static documents now becoming digitized, we can now start thinking about them almost like mini apps. And we know how we've been enthralled with apps for a very long time. So transformation here, just this digital transformation into taking these static documents and digitizing these is one of the biggest untapped opportunities that we've got out there right now. So where design thinking fits into this, it's very applicable to this because we're creating the right user interface for every and any type of digital document that's there. It doesn't matter who the user is. We've now done what we need to do through using our design thinking process to figure out what needs to go on there, the different types of interaction that a user can have with it, and then overall publishing this publishing documents this way is now a new paradigm and one that's starting to gain stronger acceptance out in the market. So this is interactive publishing.
What documents can we transition to this new paradigm?
So document really has become quite a generic term, right? If we think about it, I mean, reports are documents, dashboards, infographics, brochures, product catalogs, sales flyers, and on, right? These are all documents. They're now starting to become digitized. And how that's done is the most important part of all this because, again, going back to kind of what we referred to earlier, you need to have that user engagement. So that user experience is now going to become much more enhanced with the fact that we are digitizing these documents. Engagement is going to keep going. And design thinking is what can help us ensure that we get those documents right for the right groups of people who will be using them.
Why is it important? What are the user benefits?
Well, if you think about it, we've all been really fascinated by apps for many years now because they offer this tailored, very highly relevant experience. I think we can all agree with that. Documents really shouldn't be any different. You know, we live in this world of information overload right now, and people want to be able to go to one source, that document, and get the relevant information that they need right away because they have questions they need to get answered. And if they can get that from a single interactive document, then we've done the right thing for them. So these digital documents have to be tailored, right? Have to be data rich, easily customizable by the end user. That's another one of the key points too. They have to be able to work with these documents in ways that benefit them in their jobs, in what they're doing, and what they have to deliver. So in a way, they can be both an information consumer and an information producer at this point in time for down the line tasks that need to be done as well. And they need to be able to get this any way they can. They can get this through email. They can get this on web, on mobile, any platform that they choose to work with, the platform that makes them the most efficient. They need to be able to get these documents that way. Okay, so relevance and convenience is what these users want. Design thinking can help them achieve both of those goals.
What are the technologies to support this transformation?
Well, you need design tools that can enable you to combine design, data, and the interactivity because what you need to be producing here is enhanced HTML interactive document. All this needs to go hand in hand. PDF, I think we know, is dated at this point in time. It's hard to use. It's pretty much useless for any type of machine reading and also integration with other systems. HTML is the language of the web, but it still falls short of what is needed here. To give the right user experience, you need this enhanced HTML, this digitized document that supports pixel perfect layout and interactivity. I think that's what will get you where you need to go.
What do organizations need to do to support design thinking in the process of digitization of documents?
So here's where we need some steps to success, or a process to follow. This is very foundational to getting things right, also to doing the right things. So let's look at this as a fairly simple 5-step process. And I say it's simple because it's easy to define these. First and foremost is always having a strong champion at the top. And this is going to be a strong manager, a VP, could even be someone in the C-suite who understands the need for the strong push for user experience, because that's what we're talking about here more than anything else. Design thinking is how we get to the right user experience for what we need. And then no different here in designing these digital documents. So those strong champions are really, really key to making sure that things can get done, that you get the right people for the core teams, which happens to be next step. You have to have a core team. And sometimes that core team has to be built out. But these are cross-functional people who understand different aspects of the business and can help pave the way to getting to those. So when you're doing your visual design thinking up on a wall with your stickies, this core team is always there, and they can take a look at everything that's going on and understand where those gaps might be, but they also know how we can close those gaps when we understand that those gaps might be there. Proper research is one of the most important things here, as well as having those strong champions and building that right core team. The core team is going to be doing the research by and large. Now, you can have dedicated researchers doing this, but understanding the pain points and the challenges of the users in the current state is what we need to get to how we design these interactive documents in the right way to alleviate those pain points, to smooth out those challenges, to allow the business to work much more efficiently. We always also want to have standard guidelines for all this. So we would actually be guiding everyone through in a standard set of steps to do this. There is a really good way to do design thinking. There's a very good way to do the research from a team approach from the research. So these standard guidelines will also be very key. And the last thing is going to be the iteration, the willingness and the dedication to iterate through this, to do this in small chunks so that we make sure that we're course correcting as we go through and that we don't get to the end of a very long period and don't have what needs to be done to solve those users' problems. So 5 keys: strong champions, the core teams, the proper type of research, the standard guidelines, and the iteration through this process to make sure that your team gets to where they need to get to without a lot of wasted effort, without a lot of wasted money, on track.
Any closing remarks?
Yeah, sure. I feel that companies really need to understand that documents are an essential part of the overall digital experience and transformation. Not just websites and apps anymore. Documents are sources of very important information, and thus they have to deliver superior experience, even better experience than apps, I would argue. Thanks for giving me this opportunity, Ryo.